Posted by you/additional ear 3686. Hello everyone, my husband and I have been arguing about this all day, and I need some outside perspective. My husband picked up our daughter, Cindy, from school, and he saw her speaking to a schoolmate she had previously had a crush on. For context, last year during a sleepover, my husband and I overheard Cindy's friends lightly teasing her about having a crush on this boy. My husband also gently teased her with some innocent jokes, like the Cindy and boys sitting in a tree, kissing kind of silliness. He sometimes brings it up randomly to tease her, like asking if she wants to invite her boyfriend when we go on family outings. She never actually dated him or was even friends with him, as far as we know. Her dad just likes to tease her. Anyway, apparently over the summer, the boy was injured in an accident and missed the first couple of weeks of school as a result. When my husband was picking her up, he saw them talking and noticed that the boy had significant scarring on his face and hand. When he asked her what had happened to him and what they were talking about, saying that the boy looked disappointed, she explained that he had been in an accident and that he was just asking her out on a date, but she had turned him down. My husband was furious with her and scolded her for being so shallow as to reject him because his appearance had changed. Cindy was crying when she got home. She told me everything and insisted that she had been polite when turning him down and was simply not interested in him romantically anymore. I told my husband to apologize to our daughter and that he should never have made her feel bad for turning down anyone's romantic advances. I explained that our daughter is old enough to decide who she is attracted to, and it would have been cruel of her to say yes out of pity, leading him on. My husband is now saying that he sees me differently and that I should be ashamed for teaching Cindy to be a shallow monster and ableist. He is also angry that I undermined him when he was scolding our daughter and says we should not undermine each other's authority when disciplining our child. I wasn't trying to undermine him, I just don't think it's healthy to make our daughter feel guilty or ashamed for not being interested in someone. I do feel bad for the boy, but I don't think it is anyone's place, neither mine nor my husband's, to tell Cindy she has to date someone or that she's a bad person. Am I wrong here? Update 2 days later. Hi everyone, I got a lot of responses yesterday and thought I should update you on what has happened since I posted. First, I want to address some things I saw in the replies. 1. Many comments implied or outright stated that if my daughter's reasons for turning down the boy, I'll call him Sam for this post, were primarily because of the change in his appearance after his accident, then my husband was right, and she was a shallow monster, and I was enabling her. This didn't sit right with me and was hurtful to hear. But people also pointed out that if the roles were reversed, and it was my daughter whose appearance had changed and she was then rejected by a boy, I would probably be livid at the boy, right? These comments stuck with me and really made me think more deeply about the situation. I'm really glad I was asked these things because it made me realize what lessons I wanted my daughter to take away from this experience. I realized that although I would be upset if this happened to my daughter, I would not be upset at someone for rejecting her as long as they treated her with respect and dignity. I would be upset at the unfair situation she was in, but I would never expect someone to make it their mission to rectify this injustice at the expense of their own autonomy. Instead, I would comfort my daughter and explain that people are like puzzle pieces, not all of them fit together. Just because a boy she liked wasn't her puzzle piece doesn't make her any less valuable or beautiful. One day, she might find someone who fits well with her. 2. The lesson I wanted my daughter to learn from this was that she was not shallow for rejecting someone romantically, regardless of the reason, even if it was physical. Everyone is owed human decency and respect, but not romantic affection. Denying someone equal respect and dignity because of their appearance would be shallow, but she did not do that. Her romantic affection is not a commodity to be distributed, it belongs to her, and she is not obligated to be fair when it comes to who she wants to share it with. It is hers alone, and it's a privilege she gets to bestow on someone she likes and who treats her well. 3. A lot of the comments really made me realize how important it is for Cindy to feel that her consent matters. What might start with just going on a date she doesn't want to go on could one day escalate into her being pressured or coerced into dangerous, traumatizing situations or abusive relationships. Thank you so much to the commenters who shared their stories, which helped me realize how important this is. 4. Some people claimed that I would likely leave my husband if his appearance changed, but sorry to disappoint you, I would never do such a thing. I love my husband so much, and my relationship with him is stronger than just dating or a crush. We have built a life together, and his appearance changing wouldn't change that. We have been married long enough that my attraction to him and love for him go far deeper than looks. Maybe it would be a different story if we were just dating and barely knew each other, but things change once you make vows to stick together in sickness and in health. 5. Many people are claiming that my husband is a monster and abusive. It may seem that way if all you know about him is this one situation, but he is a full human being. He does more for this family every day than I could ever express in one post. He has issues with anger, in that he often says things he regrets in the heat of the moment, but when he cools off, he is always open to listening and communicating. I now realize how damaging his teasing of Cindy about Sam was last year, and I will make sure that doesn't happen again. However, I assure you all that this was done out of ignorance, not malice. He loves Cindy to bits and would never intentionally do something to harm her. Okay, onto what happened yesterday. My husband woke up and left the house early, so I didn't get a chance to talk to him. When Cindy woke up, I made sure she was okay and told her I wanted to talk to her about what happened the day before. Her friend's mom gave her a ride home, and she got here before my husband did, so we were able to have a heart-to-heart. I told her that she doesn't need to explain to me or anyone why she changed her mind about Sam, and I explained all the things I mentioned above. I told her that Sam is going through something very hard and she should be kind to him, but she doesn't owe him a date if she's not interested in him romantically. I reassured her that she isn't shallow and should never feel pressured to do something with someone she doesn't want to do. I also explained that her dad was upset and said things he didn't mean, but he still loves her, and so do I. She started to cry, so I held her for a while. She told me she was upset more than anything because her dad thinks of her as a bad person. This broke my heart, so I told her I would talk to him about it when he got home. When my husband got home, I told him we needed to talk about what happened yesterday. He didn't want to at first, but I insisted and told him it was about Cindy's well-being, as she was still upset and even thought her own father believed she was a bad person. This upset him, and he said of course he didn't think that. I explained my thoughts to him, and although he was a bit resistant at first, insisting he just didn't want Cindy to become a shallow person, he really listened when I explained how people might take advantage of her in the future if she starts to feel like her consent and desires don't matter. I didn't show him the post I made, but I wrote down some of the comments and stories and told them to him. I explained that they were stories I found on Reddit from people who had experienced something similar. I chose not to show him my post because so many comments were unfairly painting him as a monster, and I was worried it would make him defensive. I think it broke through to him because he was really upset at the thought of our daughter one day being manipulated into staying with someone who was hurting her. He went to talk to her privately in her room while I prepared dinner, and afterward, she seemed a lot happier and was joking around with her dad again. Today, they're both planning to go bowling together as well. Thank you, everyone, for the advice, the stories, and for motivating me to stick to my decision to defend Cindy. You guys are awesome.